Hello everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Hope you all are safe and sound. This is the first video of Class 8 Civics Chapter 7 Understanding Marginalization. So children, first of all, let's understand the meaning of marginalization. It means to be treated as insignificant or unimportant. It means to be out of the mainstream. Through this chapter, we'll try to address the problem of marginalization or social exclusion faced by some groups of people or communities. Children, these groups of people or communities may experience this marginalization or social exclusion due to several reasons. For example, it may be because they speak a different language, follow different customs, or belong to a different religious group from the majority community. It may also be possible if they are poor and are considered to be of low social status or being less human than others. They are forced to live on the margins or edges of society. Children, this marginalization does not affect only one sphere of life. That means the group of people or communities that experience marginalization not only are socially excluded but also experience economic, cultural, and political exclusion. Quite often, these groups or communities do not have access to resources and opportunities, and thus they find themselves unable to demand for their rights. In this video, we'll try to understand about the problems faced by Adivasis who experience marginalization in India. The first question that comes in our mind is, who are Adivasis? The literal meaning of the term Adivasi is original inhabitants. Adivasi or the tribal people are the communities that lived or are still living in close association with forests. Around 8% Indian population is Adivasi. The land of Adivasis is the land where important mining and industrial centers such as Jamshedpur, Raurkela, Bokaro, Bhilai are located. There are more than 500 tribal groups in India that are particularly located in the states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, and in the northeastern states. More than 60 different tribal groups live in Odisha only. Adivasi communities hardly have any hierarchy among them, and this feature makes them different from other communities that follow the caste system or Jati Varna system, or those communities that follow monarchy or the rule of a king or queen. Tribals religions are many, and they are also different from Islam, Hinduism, and Christianity. Their religious practices include the worship of ancestors, village spirits, and nature spirits. The ancestral spirits are associated with particular family and are usually worshipped at home. The village spirits are usually worshipped at particular sacred groves in the village area. The natural spirits may be in various forms of nature like mountain spirits, river spirits, animal spirits, etc. In addition to this, different religions that were practiced around the tribal areas influenced them quite often, such as Shakta, Buddhist, Vaishnava, Bhakti, and Christianity. At the same time, children, Adivasi religions have also put a great impact on the religions of the empires around them. For instance, the Jagannath cult of Odisha, then Shakti and Tantric tradition of Bengal and Assam. In the 19th century, a large number of Adivasis converted to Christianity, and it became an important religion in modern Adivasi history. There are number of tribal languages. These tribal languages are totally different from Sanskrit. At the same time, it is also a fact that they are perhaps as old as Sanskrit. The different Adivasi languages have put deep impact on the formation of major Indian languages such as Bengali. Among several Adivasi languages, Santhali language is spoken by most Adivasis. Even there are large number of books and magazines available in Santhali, of which some are available as e-magazines also. Generally, we in India portray Adivasis in some particular ways. In any school function or official event or in books and movies, Adivasis are exhibited as wearing colorful dresses and headgear and performing dances. This is the popular image about Adivasis. Beyond this, what else is there in their lives is seldom known. And because of this, many a times people start believing that Adivasis are very different, very basic and backward. They are considered as backward because of the lack of advancement. They are depicted as they do not like or they resist to change or they do not welcome new ideas. We know, children, that forests were vital for the development of all empires and for the establishment of civilization. Forest provided all basic things and raw materials required for the development, such as iron, copper, gold, silver, coal, diamond, timber, medicinal herbs, animal products, and many more. Not only this, but forest also help to recharge many Indian rivers. They are vital for the availability and quality of the air and water. Till the 19th century, a large area of our country was covered with dense forests. The Adivasis of India had extensive knowledge of these forests. They had access to these forests, and till the mid 19th century, Adivasis had control over the large extent of these forests. It means, children, Adivasis were independent and not ruled by the states and empires. Rather, the empires often depended on Adivasis to be able to have access to forest resources. This image of Adivasis is quite contrary to the present image of Adivasis that present them as marginal and powerless communities. Before the British rule, different Adivasi groups had different ways of living, ranging from hunter gatherers and nomads to shifting cultivators and settled cultivators. But for past 200 years and more, Adivasis have been forced to leave their traditional and familiar habitations and work as workers in plantations, at construction sites, as laborers in industries, and as domestic workers. This migration was caused due to economic changes, because of the change in forest policies, and due to political forces and pressure uh, applied by state industry and private industry to get the forest vacated. Thus, the forest people now do not have access or control to the forest areas. To meet the increasing demand of food and due to industrialization, forest lands have been cleared for timber and to get land for agriculture and industry. You have already learnt that Adivasis lived in those areas that are the large deposits of minerals and are rich in other natural resources. Therefore, their forest, their land have been taken over for mining and to set up large industrial projects. Most of the time, the Adivasis' land was taken away from them forcefully and without following the required procedures. As per the official records, more than 50% of the persons that are forced to move from their homes for mines and mining projects are tribals or Adivasis. Some organizations that work among Adivasis have presented a survey report which says that 79% of the people who are compelled to leave their place from Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Jharkhand are tribals. The large areas of the places where they lived have submerged in the water of several dams which have been constructed after the independence. If we talk about their land in northeast, so in most of these areas armed forces are posted and huge tracts of their lands are damaged in war also. Adivasis were also evicted from their original lands as Indian government made 54 national parks and 372 wildlife sanctuaries. These parks and wildlife sanctuaries cover 1,09,652 square kilometers of area. The Adivasis who were the original inhabitants of these areas had to leave their lands, and those who did not leave and stayed there in these forests, they are blamed as encroachers. Children, we have learnt that for their food and livelihood, tribals depend on their traditional land, that is forest. Therefore, when they lost access to these forests, they were compelled to migrate to cities in search of work. In cities, they work in local industries or at construction sites at very low wages. In this way, those Adivasis who were self-sustained are forced to live a life in poverty and deprivation. This can be better understood by this fact that around 45% of Adivasi groups in rural areas and 35% of Adivasi groups in urban areas are forced to live below the poverty line. Due to poverty, they are deprived of many other things. Many tribal children do not get adequate nutrition or food. Even the literacy rates among tribals are very low, means only few tribal people are literate. The displacement of tribals from their lands does not mean only to lose their source of income, but it also means to lose their traditions and customs, to lose their way of living, to lose their identity. Children, the economic and social spheres of tribal life are interconnected. If one sphere is harmed or destructed, it affects the other sphere also. There are instances which prove that quite often such disposition and displacement cause pain, sufferings and violence. This was about the Adivasi communities in India that experience marginalization. Now, based on your learning so far, here are some questions for you to attempt. The first question is, what do you know about Adivasis? Second question, how are Adivasis stereotyped? Third question, describe various reasons that forced Adivasis to move from their lands. Fourth question, what happened to Adivasis when they lost access to their traditional homelands? Children, if you found this video helpful and wish to watch more of such content, do consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you have any queries or comments, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you.